And thanks for staying with us. Now, 4 years after Reshall Jimmy's death, an inquest has now been set down for next month. The 33-year-old died after his Ford Kuga Ecoboost caught fire with him still behind the wheel. And his family has been seeking justice for his passing, blaming the Ford Motor Company. And should the inquest find Ford guilty, the National Prosecuting Authority could charge the company with culpable homicide. And in South Africa, the company had to recall over 4,000 cars of this make due to numerous vehicles catching fire. And just last week, another incident happened in the Eastern Cape. And to discuss this further from our studios in Parliament, we join now by Reshall Jimmy's sister, Renisha. Renisha, thanks so much, and our condolences once again to you and your family.
Thank you.
Renisha, first and foremost, how does the family feel about the fact that that inquest date has now been determined?
We're very happy about that. Feel that we're finally actually getting somewhere and it has some form of traction. We've waited for 3 years to get to this point, so very, very happy that we finally have an inquest and hoping that this would bring us closer to closure.
Renisha, you know, this is a question that we asked yesterday morning on our question of the day here on Morning Live. And given that so many cars, so many Ford Kugas caught alight and your family unfortunately suffering the loss of one of your own, what is your take on how the Ford Motor Company has actually handled the entire situation?
Well, my take is that it was horrible. You know, they could have taken a different stance on the way forward, thought about their customers and the impact this would have on people that actually value them and support them and actually make them a business in our country. Yeah, it's appalling in the manner in which they've handled the matter and treated victims, especially our family, absolutely appalling.
Now, you have Advocate Gerry Nel in your corner for this case, but the NPA initially declined to prosecute, and they stated that there was insufficient evidence. Are you much more, confident this time around that you will be able to provide the necessary evidence to actually have this company come to terms with and pay for what happened to your brother?
I believe so. I believe we stand extremely strong having Advocate now running the matter and assisting our family to get justice. Initially, they declined to prosecute. We applied for a nollie application, didn't happen. So we're in a position where I strongly believe we have the right person who's fighting for us and will get us justice for Reshall.
And just in terms of the evidence, Renisha, has there been any new evidence that has come to light?
From our side, no. But Ford has, made various absurd stories, from changing from suicide to he's been shot to changing the story now that there's a casino involved. So nothing from our side. The facts remain the facts, and Reshall died because he was in that car which had a manufacturing fault and it burned, and he burned to death. There was no bullet wounds, no nothing. So from our side, the facts remain the same. That can't change, but Ford has been spinning around different stories. So nothing's changed from our side regarding evidence.
And you say they've been spinning stories, but has there been any more interaction between your family and the Ford Motor Company directly?
Absolutely not. There's been no interaction since Jeff Nemeth had left the country, so nothing between the family and us.
And what would you like to see as a family? What would you like to see happen in order for you to get closure or a sense of justice out of this?
Look, we would like someone who is responsible for Reshall's death to be accountable, and, that's all we've been fighting for, is the truth to come out and for Reshall's reputation to be cleared, because Ford has really dragged Reshall's reputation through the mud, and we know the person he was, and that's wrong. So for us, it's just about justice, and someone has to take accountability, because that fire was caused based on the fact there was a problem with the car. So, you know, all we want is justice, and someone needs to take accountability for him losing his life.
And perhaps just a final question from my side. Did you as a family do any independent investigations on your side?
Yes, we did.
And are you at liberty to perhaps share with us the outcome of that?
So, look, the outcome of the investigations has been that it's a technical fault of the car, manufacturing fault. So it remains the same. Yeah, so from all investigators that have been, including Ford's investigator, the cause of fire has remained the same. So, you know, it's very difficult and surprising that Ford would still try and grasp on different stories and try and cover up, but instead of just saying, look, this is what happened and, you know, end this. So the reports have all had the same outcome and cause of fire.
Well, Renisha, thank you so much for speaking to us this morning, and hopefully we'll speak a little more during that particular inquest. But thanks so much for your time this morning. And that was Renisha, and she is the sister of deceased Reshall Jimmy. And do stay tuned when we continue on the show just after this break.